Alright, so we open up the JustPlay practice app. This is what it looks like at the end of meetup number 2. I'm just going to show you what we did um, during meetup number 3. So the first thing we're going to do is go into our appdelegate.swift file, close the open the standard editor, close the assistant editor. I'm going to open the utilities pane, and I have some code that I already wrote, and I included it here in this, what is this called? The show the code snippet library. So this is the code snippet library. So I'm just going to drag and drop this in, and what this does is it creates a music player and it sets the shuffle mode, and then it plays it. And I talked about this in the meetup recap, the written portion for meetup number 3. So this will launch when the app launches. It will automatically play us a random song, and it plays it really fast, which is really awesome. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is add a new button. And I want these lines. Well, actually, let me do this first. Make it size 30 to make it the same size as the play button. I'm going to hit Command equal sign size to fit content, and then I want those lines because when I hit resolve auto layout constraints, reset to suggested constraints, it will add the constraints that I need. All right, open close the utilities pane, open the assistant editor, and I want to create an outlet for both buttons. Whoops. So we want to control drag into our viewcontroller.swift file. Action button label. And next button label. And then I also want to connect my next button to my action, IB action function, action button. Basically, we can use this same function. We don't have to create a separate function. All right, so I'm done in there for now. Open the standard editor in my viewcontroller.swift file. Open the utilities pane, and I have some more code I'm just going to add in here. First, I'm going to change this from this if statement to this switch statement. And what this does is creates a local property called current title, sets it to the current title of the sender. So whoever is sending this action, so whatever button you're tapping, and we're switching on that local property. And I unwrap it here. So in the case that it's next, I'm just going to get rid of this. We set the music player queue with a new media query, and then we hit play. That way it plays a new random song. Then we change the title of the action button to pause. In case that it's play, it plays, and it changes the title to pause. In case that it's pause, it pauses it and it changes the title to play. Here we have to use action button as opposed to sender, because in this case, sender is the next button. So we want to change the action button label to make sure that it's paused whenever we hit next, because anytime we hit next, we're going to play. And so whenever we hit play, we want it to say paused, right? And then we have a default, because you have to switch statements have to be exhaustive. So in this case, we just call default and we break out. And the next thing we want to do, the last thing we want to do is check that our music player playback state is playing. Because if it is, we want to unhide our action button label and we want to unhide our next button. Because we have these two buttons here, but we don't want them to show if our app's not playing, because that would be weird. Like, oh, there's a button that says play next, but there's nothing really happening. So we check to make sure that our app is playing before we unhide these buttons. Now, we want to hide them. We could do it in code, but the easiest way is to hide them here. So click on the play button, go into the utilities attributes inspector, the utilities pane. Under view, click on hidden, and then same thing for next. So these will be hidden when the view loads, but if our music player is playing, we will unhide these things. And then the last thing that we want to do is change this button to say pause, so that when our app launches and this is checked, it says pause. And that should be it. See you guys next time.